Alright guys, I'm starting this video to educate you guys about the world. And I'm basically doing it because I want to express myself and get views for the things that I know. To start off, cancer is fake. That's why I'm smoking. Cancer does not exist, guys. Cancer is a made up disease by doctors, the media, school. You get brainwashed in school basically to believing that World War One, World War Two existed, which it doesn't. You know, there's, in school you're brainwashed to believe a lot of things that you shouldn't believe, guys. World War One, World War Two did not exist. Those things are fictional. There's no war that's ever occurred in history. No war in history has ever occurred. Huh. So, basically, okay, guys. So basically, to talk about what suppressive people want against you, basically anyone who tries to put you down, people who are enemies to you, and if you don't know it, you should know it. These people will talk about diseases that don't exist, like high blood pressure, cancer, diabetes, strokes, comas. I mean, you could go into a coma if you're anesthesia. If you're anesthetized with a gas mask or some sort of drug that puts you into a coma. It could be temporary, it could be permanent, depending on how long they keep you on the anesthesia, or if you're roofied, if with Hypno, with a date rape drug that people use to, take advantage of you sexually. If you're a girl, if you're a young boy, that it happens. It's a temporary coma, you call it. I guess I don't know my words for it. Yeah, guys. I'm basically here to educate you on what you should watch out for in enemies. People who you don't know your enemies, or you do know they're your enemies. They basically, the way to know is that they will put you down. They will call you ugly when you're not ugly. Now, the type of people who will try to put you down, and the people who you should know are your enemies, are ugly people, fat people that are your enemies. Fat people are enemies. They are not good people, guys. You should not talk to fat or ugly people because they are not worth your time. They have nothing to offer. Friends should be about having sex with them like girls, or if you're bi-curious. I don't have anything against being gay myself, If you're bi-curious, if you're gay or bisexual, if you're young and you want to have sex with young people like yourself, or if you're older and you want to have sex with people like your age, or older people, that's perfectly normal. I don't have anything against it. I'm only mentioning it because you should have valuable people in your life who want and can help you express your needs, your urges towards them. That's a good way to have. That's a good way to know you have a friend. Boyfriend, girlfriend, or friend regularly, or just a friend. These people who are your friends usually tend to be good looking, and they tend to have a good, attractive looking body. So at least if you're not having sex with a person, you can at least look at them. If they're nice looking, if they're attractive, you can at least stare at them, look at them. If you're not touching the person, you're not having sex with a person, you can at least look at them and appreciate something, have something to appreciate. That's what makes a person your friend. Now, to talk about hypnosis. Hypnosis is a bad thing, guys. You should not give someone control of you mentally. Hypnosis does not allow free will. Hypnosis you should try to undo hypnosis whatever way you can. I know a therapy that undoes hypnosis, but I can't mention it here because it's it can get controversial, you know, if I mention it. Now, to talk about people who are suppressive to you, to me, to my family member, or anyone. ¿Qué? El de no ha llegado. Como ir platicando. Esa es la mía, esa es la mía. Él hablaba con su novia. Alright, guys, so basically, this video is about educating you and for me to get views and for me to, build an online relationship with someone. Not a relationship, a friendship, but build an online friendship with someone who isn't suppressive to me. It's basically what I just thought of. I didn't think of that before I made the video. I just thought of that right now. I was like, maybe I could have a friend online who I could talk to, give me advice, teach me something if I don't know something, someone valuable, but you as well. I mean, I can be valuable to you by just answering your questions. That's all I want to do. I don't want anything else. I really don't care. But basically, the point would be for you to understand that cancer, wars are fake. There has never been a war in the history of the world. There is one war, but it's not done through. It doesn't involve killing. It involves bullying, and it's a psychological war. It's a psychological war, physical war as well. It isn't against people who are victims of brainwashing, like me. I was brainwashed when I was younger by school. And that's how I feel about school, guys. That's why I mentioned it. I feel that school brainwashed me into believing that World War One, World War Two existed, or that other killings, that other men killed huge numbers of people for no reason. And to explain this right now too, is that no one has ever died in the history of mankind. No one. Animals die, obviously. Animals die. Hold on. I have to open the door for someone. Okay. Let me just open the door. Someone's knocking. Who is it? Oh, it's just a dog. I thought it was a person. It's just a dog. Okay, hold on, guys. I'm still on. It's just the dark. The room is dark. Okay, so basically, no one has ever died, guys. That's real simple. You know why? I will tell you why. It would not be good for the people who run the world, who control the world against us, to keep us from having what we want when we want it, like sex, or even objects, video games, TV shows. We have to pay for subscriptions. We have to pay for, to watch movies. You have to pay subscriptions on YouTube. Your time is wasted. You have to watch a commercial. You have to pay a subscription and not watch commercials if you don't want to. Then there's like Hulu. Well, I don't want to get into names. I shouldn't be mentioning YouTube or Hulu. That's not a good example. That's not a good thing to do. Cause I don't want my channel, my video taken down, or my channel taken down. But basically, these people control us into wasting our time by working, or paying money, or watching commercials, advertisements, to get what we want. Or some of us have to deal with the police. Then there's teachers at school police officers with ticketing for not going to school, court visits for not going to school. They basically harass us and intimidate us into going to school so he can be brainwashed. What kind of way is that to teach a child by intimidating and harassing someone that they will have to pay a fine, or that our parents will have to pay a fine, or that when we're 18 we'll have to pay a fine, ticket, or even, what kind of people are those to harass us into going to school in the first place? What kind of people are they? Just think about it. What kind of people would do that to someone who does not want to go to school and just educate themselves? What kind of person would not allow someone to educate themselves at home with a computer, or at the library, wherever you can access a computer? Who wouldn't just allow you to, once you know English, Spanish, and math, you're set. You're bilingual, you have two languages. Once you know those two languages, English and Spanish, and you know math, you're set to get a job. You're set to live life. Once you know how to read, spell, that's when you should be able to stay out of school. You can learn to spell just watching TV and watching the subtitles. You don't have to go to school to do that. I mean, maybe you do. I'm not sure. I'm not completely sure, but my understanding of school is that it's used to brainwash people. From my experience, I mean, just bullying occurs in schools when you're a child and you have other ugly fat children bully you. And there's children who waste your time, well even if they're children, they have bad intentions. They're not just children. To get further into that, the fact that I just said they're not just children, there's people that can actually exit their body and go into another body, and you can have an adult pose as a child in a school. I've had that happen to me. I've had children where there were adults posing as children to me, against me, in school. But I never saw their genitalia, but I'm sure of the fact what I'm saying right now. Yeah, I'm smoking just to relax, guys. I was gonna smoke anyway, so I just figured I might as well do this video smoking, so I don't waste my time. So they're doing this video and then smoking later, and when I have other things to do. But yeah, so basically, these people exit their bodies through. I mean, I don't want to go into how they exit their bodies. You can ask me; I'll answer you on the comments. If I want to. But so basically, yeah, these people will waste your time, guys. They will harass you, bully you in school. They will brainwash you in school. Even bullies put brainwashing in school. It's not just the teachers and the education system that does that. And it's also TV, the bullies at school teachers, police officers. That they will brainwash into believing that you should be working for everything that you have. I mean, you should be free to just get whatever you want whenever you want it, or at least contribute to society for getting the things you want, but not through, hours of labor, hours and days of labor every day. That's pretty ridiculous to me to, have so little for so much. Then you get so little for all the work you put in. That's just ridiculous, guys. To me, it's ridiculous. I don't know why I would want to tolerate that. I don't, I mean, I tolerate paying for things at the store, wasting my time, sit there with the cashier. You think he would just know that I've contributed to society and give me what I want? Now, I'm letting you know that me smoking is not a bad example, guys. Me smoking a cigar, it's not weed, it's a cigar. It's a cigar. It's not, you see the tobacco, see? I mean, it's basically tobacco. And, well, I don't want to show the brand, but, it's just tobacco, guys. It's not weed. I should got into that earlier. I should have mentioned it wasn't weed when I mentioned that cancer doesn't exist. No, it would be it would be easier to tell if I was smoking a cigarette. But yeah, basically, society is just messed up, guys. Society is made up of a majority of people who control the minority. Basically, if you're white, Hispanic, Um, you basically, if you're a child, you're an adult. If you fear that people have been lying to you, or bullying you, or harassing you, lying to you, or even just picking on you, you're right about it. You're not wrong. You know, um, the only way I'm not setting a bad example though by smoking a cigar, tobacco, is that it doesn't cause cancer. I mean, it might be a toxin towards your body, which is addictive, or might altering to some degree. I'm not sure, but I know that it does not cause cancer, guys. That's not something that it does. I mean, that's just my belief. That's what I know. I'm not telling you that everyone is gonna say the same thing. Everyone claims they have different beliefs. I mean, I obviously disrespect that, and I respect that by making this video and stating what I believe and what I know. I don't want this video to be taken out because I'm saying that. And I'm in no way condoning smoking cigarettes for youth or even for adults. I just smoke because, well, there's nothing to do. It's boring, just boring here. There's nothing to do. Basically the thing that you have to watch out for is basically ugly or fat people who try to talk to you and waste your time. Or if you're talking to them, I would suggest you stop. Whether they're your parents, whether they're people in your life who seem like friends because of they let you play video games in their house, or they offer they let you borrow things, or they give you things. Those aren't friends. Those are just people who are trying to buy you and trying to get you to sell your soul to them. At the moment, they're not friends, guys. I mean, it's not hard to understand what an enemy is. If you don't like someone, they're an enemy, basically. Hey, Damien. Yeah, but so to go further into detail about who runs the world, guys, the Illuminati. That's what I'm gonna get into right now. Basically, this video is basically all about the Illuminati, what they do, what they basically control the whole world into brainwashing children across the world, as across the entire, maybe not across the entire earth, but they do. No, why I say that not the entire earth is because not the entire earth has people that are being victimized, and I say that because the earth is flat, it's infinite. That's my belief. That's what that's what I've come to understand, just thinking critically. And if I'm to explain why the world isn't flat, why the world isn't round, why it's on a planet, why it's flat. Say, here, I'm gonna hold this up. Say you're at the top of the world. You're up here where I'm moving my finger. Say you're right here. Say you're right here. See where I'm moving my finger, guys, like that. I'm moving up and down. Say you're at the top of this container. If you were on top of it, right? If you were where it has a flat surface, and you will be able to stay on the ground. You would be pulled by gravity to it. You would have gravity basically in effect, and you would be able to remain on the surface. Now, say you're on the bottom of it, like say we're in America right now, right? So say you are on the other side of the world, basically on the other side of the world, guys, you would fall off because you can see that there is nothing keeping you from falling off of it. You would basically be on the ceiling. The floor would be the ceiling, and you would fall right into the floor or into the other ceiling. And if there were nothing there, there were no house keeping you from falling into space, into the universe, you would fall right into the universe. You would fall right into space. So that's a good example of how gravity works, and how the Earth, the flat Earth, fact works. To me, it's a fact because I know that a lot of people know it. They just lie about it. Anyone here who's commenting saying that the world is not flat, they're either wrong because they've been brainwashed, or they're just lying. I don't know why anyone would even comment and say that. Basically, again, guys, I don't condone smoking for you or for anyone. I mean, I really don't care if you're an adult and if you smoke, you're 21. Go ahead and smoke a cigarette if you want. You smoke a cigar. Don't smoke weed though. Smoke weed is bad. It's a mind-altering drug. It creates brain fog. You lose your natural ability to enjoy life to the fullest. You would need to cleanse it out somehow with some kind of special vitamins and sweating to get it out of your system. So yeah, basically, guys, I dropped the cigar. I don't want to pick it up. It's too small anyway for me to light. But yeah. Oh man, I'm sweating. So yeah, basically, guys, just for you to be educated by me. If you like my education video, give a thumbs up. Like the video, share it with your friends, your family, anyone who you want to have educated with facts. Things that are maybe not facts completely, but things that are real to me. And if you ever thought about some of the things I've talked about so far and questioned, what schools teach about it, if you question what schools teach about it, if you've questioned what the government says is the truth, what the media says is the truth, what books say is the truth, or what people say is the truth, you basically should watch this video again and go over it again. Go over it as many times as you want to, and just make sure you remember what I've said in this video so far, and what I'm gonna say after this as well. Just make sure that everything I say later, you also go over, and just try to remember that there has been no war in the earth, and there has been no war in the history of mankind, guys. There has been a war where people have been physically and sexually abused, drugged against their will, or brainwashing to smoking or taking drugs, or even neglected, into smoking and taking drugs or being forced on drugs. Children are neglected all the time. I mean, when I was a child, I remember that I reported to CPS that my family was hitting me, that I was suffering with child abuse, I was being hit. I reported that to CPS. They said that they didn't believe me because I didn't have any marks, and they neglected me. And that shows that the government doesn't really care about children. That shows that CPS doesn't care about children. Schools don't care about children. I reported this in the school. I was in a school, in elementary school. I was in I told the counselor there, and I told the school principal there as well what was happening at home, and they had me talk to CPS on the phone. CPS never arranged a interview with me, in-person interview with me. They never arranged a person-to-person interview with me or my family. They never came down to my house and investigated, even though the school district had my address. The school had my address, and they had my phone number as well. They never did anything about what was happening to me. I also reported sexual abuse happening in the house. I'm not going to say if it was towards me or some family member, but I did report that. They never cared. They didn't care. They just said they didn't believe me because they were using child psychology to tell whether I was lying or not. And, child psychology, I'm going to get into psychologists, psychiatrists right now as well. Psychiatrists, psychologists, all are a business, guys. It's all a business to them. They want to make as much money as they can. They don't care how many people they hurt or lied to, or neglect, or even abused with false information. And psychiatrists don't care how many people they abuse physically. They don't care how many people they abuse physically themselves, because when you're in a mental hospital, they inject you with medication against your will if you don't want to take it. And if you do take the medication has side effects. It can make you gain weight. It makes you gain weight depending on what the medication you're taking. Most antipsychotics and antidepressants make you gain weight. I'm not sure about anti-anxiety medication or drugs like those, but I know that those two drugs that I mentioned earlier do make you gain weight. It's like Prex that makes you gain weight. Risperdal. There's breast growth. Male breast growth. If you're a boy or a man, if you take Risperdal, you'll grow breasts. Your chest will get bigger. And basically that's how psychiatrists abuse people. Now, how psychologists abuse people is different. They abuse people, by lying to them about what is going on in their life. When you talk to psychologists, they lie to you. They neglect you. They brainwash you. And some psychologists even, I'm not sure if psychologists use hypnotherapy. I'm not sure if they use hypnosis to treat a patient, but I do know that psychologists do not warn against hypnosis. Hypnosis is a dangerous thing, guys. You can lose your free will to hypnosis. You can be forced to do things against your own will with hypnosis. And in order to have free will, you need to avoid hypnosis. There's also what's called trauma, trauma-induced hypnosis, which is hypnosis that's caused by hurting someone physically. Basically, when you're being attacked physically and being caused intense physical pain to, you can be hypnotized by the pain, guys. Now, it's important that you seek information on how to undo these things, like hypnosis, how to undo brainwashing. Like basically, I can tell you how to undo brainwashing. You should just watch this video over and over again, and just ask me questions on my channel, and I'll probably make other videos where I talk about things like this in the future, depending on how long this video is. I think it's too long, well, I'll just cut it short. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, but basically, guys, what I'm telling you is the truth. The world is flat. Most diseases that are claimed to exist don't exist. I mean, from experience, I know chlamydia does exist. I've had it. I'm not gonna deny that. And that just took antibiotics to get rid of. I didn't take chemotherapy or months of taking antibiotics. I just took antibiotics one day and that was it. One dose, and I got rid of it. I didn't have to take it every day for the rest of my life, like you do with psychiatric medication or even medication for diabetes, high blood pressure, or with medication for low blood pressure. I didn't have to do those things with chlamydia. Now, to talk about other things that excluding for what I just talked about. To talk about the flat Earth theory again, gravity does not work to the point where you're walking on the ceiling, guys. It does not work to the point where you're walking on the ceiling and that it will pull you towards the ceiling and keep you there. That's not how gravity works. Gravity works if you're on the ceiling, you will fall, and you will either go into space inevitably for an endless amount of time till you hit the sun or the moon or something, or other things that might be in space like other stars. And well, that basically that's what science and books and schools are arguing, and the media is arguing when they take pictures of when they claim that they have pictures of the world taken from some kind of telescope in space. That's what they're claiming when they do that. That if you're under the other side of the world, that somehow there's not a bottom and a top of it. Like, there is a bottom and a top of everything, guys. There's a bottom of a container and a top of a container. What's up, Damien? What's up, nigga? Yeah, I'm making a video, nigga. Yeah, okay, guys. So there's a top and a bottom of everything. There is no way that there's not a top and a bottom of everything. Everything has a top surface and a bottom surface, and the sides as well. There's also sides to something. And if you were on the side of the earth and you weren't on the flat surface, you were standing on the flat surface, you are like completely on the side of the earth, and you were to just jump right off. I mean, I'm not saying that there is a side of the earth which you can jump off of, to me, but I believe that the earth is infinite, it's everlasting, it's flat terrain. You can travel for millions of miles and never reach an end, That's basically how it works. That's what I think, that's what I've concluded by, engaging in critical thinking and analysis of something of the earth. That's what, I've come to believe. I should have explained it earlier, but if you're still watching the video, good for you. And that also to mention, there is basically bullying. I'm gonna explain how bullying works. Bullies will often ask you to give them something, to move, to do something you don't want to do, or to basically do something that they want you to do. Now, I'm not talking about your parents asking you to do chores, guys. That's completely normal. You should do chores, or at least do what they're telling you to do. I'm talking about like people who you don't like, people who are fat and ugly. These people will ask you to do something, and you shouldn't do it. It's a waste of time. I don't know what I could have to gain from doing something that ugly or fat person is telling me to do, at all, unless I'm obligated to somehow, legally or financially. Not that it isn't still bullying. What do you want?
Nothing.
Kick it over you, nigga.
Why?
Tell me. All right, we're gonna use an example, guys. This guy, Damon. Is there a top surface to this? Okay, you don't want to volunteer. Fine.
I'm not sure what it is.
All right, there is a flat surface to it, but there's a top surface to it and there's a bottom surface to it.
Yeah. What about it?
Do you believe that the world is round, or do you believe it's flat? You think it's flat?
I don't know. No, I think it's round.
How is it round though? The wave. So you don't.
That's just what we've been told, but I've never seen it, so I wouldn't know. I don't know. There's many theories, so I don't know.
It's not a theory that it's flat, but it's a fact. How if you think about it for a second, if the world were round like a ball, there would be a bottom surface and a top surface to it. The bottom would, if you were on the bottom surface of it, you would just fall right off, bro. That's logical. Gravity works that way. It doesn't, there's no way that gravity doesn't work that way. That, or if gravity actually pulled you to the surface of the earth, people would be walking around in the ceiling and walking upside down in their homes, or even on the street. You would have the blood rushing to your head and building pressure in your head to whatever happens when the blood goes in your head and rushes to it. Whatever happens after that, if you can die from it, I'm not sure. But there is a bottom surface and top surface to everything, nigga.
They look like Caillou with that shit.
I don't know.
How was the burrito?
Tasted nasty, but I didn't like it. It was just spicy. It tasted like chicken. I like chicken. I like
chicken.
I like carne asada.
So you didn't eat it, or what'd you do?
I ate it.
And yeah, it had spice. Did it have guac in it? Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't. I barely tasted the guacamole.
Because it was spicy. It was spicy.
Yeah, well, it was too much chicken, bro. It's just too much chicken. That's all it was. Carne asada is better. You should go in carne asada. That's what I get when I go.
Stick on mine, but not on yours.
That's what I get when I go to Chipotle, bro. Is carne asada. So do you believe that though? That if you are on a bottom surface, you will either be walking upside down, like on the ceilings. Like there's a top of the roof, then there's the bottom of the roof. Say you're on the ceiling, that's the bottom of the roof. Wouldn't you like be walking upside down somehow on the ceiling?
I guess.
And then if gravity weren't pulling you up towards the ceiling, like people say it doesn't, what did you just fall? What did you just fall right? What did you just fall right to the floor or in space? See, that's how it makes sense. But I try to talk to Dave about it all the time. Where he just, he's been brainwashed, bro. I hate that my little brother was being brainwashed, bro. Seriously. So that's why I'm making this video for him to watch it, and then if it's other people watch it who already subscribed to my channel, well, they can share it, they can watch it over and over again, and learn, remember what I said. There's other things for me to talk about, guys. I'm talking to this dude right now just to casualize, socialize because I'm bored. That's how boring making this video is. Wow. Yeah, it is boring, bro. I hate it. It's hot, huh? Yeah, it is hot, bro. It's burning. I'm sweating like fuck.
What are you looking at, bro? What you looking at, bro?
Alright, guys, just to continue. What you should watch out in bullies and people who are fat and ugly is if they ask you to let them hypnotize you. That's one thing you should watch out for. You should never let an ugly or fat person or anyone hypnotize you in the first place. You should never let anyone do that, because you'll lose free will over yourself, and you'll be brainwashed by the hypnotic trance they put you in into doing things you wouldn't regularly want to do if you were being yourself. And two, you should also watch out for name calling. Like if they're calling you names that you don't like to be called, like anything. You should avoid those people. If those people hit you, you should avoid them. It doesn't matter who they are. If they hit you, they spank you. If you're a child and you're being spanked at home, like to the point it hurts, and you don't like it, you should avoid whoever's doing that in your home. Even if it's your parents, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your grandma, your bald-headed grandpa, anyone, it doesn't matter. Even if your grandpa's on bald-headed, you should just avoid him, and you should call the police, CPS, and CPS. In my case, they didn't do anything about it, but they might in yours. I'm not saying that they won't. I'm saying that in my case, they didn't do anything about it in the first place, because they're basically, to me, the people who were involved in my CPS case were suppressive towards me. They didn't care about me. It's illogical that they just didn't care about me. They knew that what was going on in my home and what I was reporting was factual, not true. They just chose to neglect me because they wanted me to go through the abuse, for me to suffer my whole life till now, and they want me to keep suffering anyway as it is. It's obvious that CPS doesn't always work for everyone who's being abused. In the past it has. At least it's a fact that in the past it wasn't working the way it should have for me. I think that what we need is caring people in CPS and in the police department for, these government agencies that are supposed to protect people to actually work and actually take care of people who need to be taken care of as children or adults who are suffering with 911 wannabes. 911 wannabes is when people call the police on you for no reason when you haven't done anything wrong. Say someone's fighting you and you swing back and you're just defending yourself. These people will call the police. These suppressive people will call the police and say that you did something wrong, that you hit them first. They will lie to the police, and the police will take you in, guys, because the police just don't care about you. They know what's going on in your home. They know what's going on in the streets. They just don't care, though. They are bad people who will hurt anyone who they want to hurt. You know, they won't. They just don't care what they do. They're negative people who, just seek a thrill out of doing what they do to live the life the way they want to live it against you. Even if you're unhappy, they just won't care, guys. The best you can do is just always call 911 or call CPS, no matter what I've said here. They should do something about your case. Like, I mean, I'm not saying they will or that they won't, but you have to give it a try, guys. I'm not condoning anyone from believing anything bad about their future or present CPS case or police matter as well. What I'm trying to do is just inform you of what happened to me and what I believe. You know, and basically to mention, in school I had children who were, or people who were adults posing as children in school, guys. These people were actual adults posing as children in school. And the way they were posing that way is, you know, you know, let's get into something right now, just to explain. Now, for those of you who don't believe that reincarnation is real, or that you will have a body given to you by God after you die, I'm gonna explain that. Um, that you will be given a body by God after you die. If you die, I'm not sure if you will. I'm not, I don't know. But um, then there's reincarnation as well. You will be reincarnated by God. It's basically the same thing that I just said earlier. You will be reincarnated by God, guys, no matter what. God does want us to have a body for us to enjoy life with. He cares that much. He at least cares that much, Um, I should say the gods, they care that much. Yeah, basically, so to go into detail of how these people posed as children in school and got away with it, at least from my point of view, and to me they got away with it. I'm pretty sure that the staff were aware of it. There's no way that the staff weren't aware of it. They were aware of it. But to mention how that happened is that these people exited their body and they were actually older than I was by a lot. They exited their body and got switched places with another body. They switched places with another body. They got another body, or maybe they were in that same body the whole time and just didn't hit puberty early enough. Maybe they were adults and just didn't hit puberty at all before me not to notice it when I saw the genitalia. You know, as a child. With me as a child. But yeah, basically that's what happened. They were. I'm pretty sure the people who were bullying me in school were older than me. I mean, by a couple of years. Or maybe decades. Who knows? I mean, the staff were bullying me. One time I had my teacher say that with the back of my head. Looked like my mom dropped me on my head really hard, and that I grew a bump on the back of it, and that was just uncalled for. It was harassment, psychological harassment, and teasing. I wouldn't call it harassment. I'd say it was psychological harassment. To the point where I'm just being teased about the back of my head and how I look, just to be insecure about myself, or just to develop sort of a phobia or something. I'm not sure what. I'm pretty sure it was just to tease me, though. If anything, that he said that. He said that because he wanted to tease me. And that's how I know that the staff were aware of what was going on at school, because they were involved in it as well. There was a time that I reported to CPS, and it was at a school. That was at a school that I reported this to. I reported to CPS that my parents were hitting me, and that there was sexual abuse going on in the home. I'm not gonna tell you whether it was with me or someone in the family, but I told them that, and they did. The CPS told me in front of the school, the staff in school, that there was my school principal, and there was a school counselor that talking to me. They said that right in front of those two staff members of the school, and the school just didn't ever told my parents what was going on or what I said, what I had said to CPS in the first place. They never even had a meeting with me in school to talk to my mom about it and what, whether that was true or not, to find out whether that was true or not. They just never cared. That's how I know that the staff of the schools that I went to were involved in my bullying. That's why I tell you they should watch out for people who are ugly or fat or just not attractive to you. Because these people will get involved against you guys. There's no way that they won't. They're ugly and fat for a reason, and it's obviously to be repulsive and to show that they have no value to you. That's what they want you to see, or that they want you to know. And that's a whole different case. It's obvious that they don't want you to know that, though. They want to brainwash you by just sitting in front of you, talking to you, wasting your time. Sit there lying to you, hitting you, asking you to let them hypnotize you, and hypnotizing you if you give consent. Um, you know, um, I don't know if there's anything else for me to talk about. Yeah, I guess I can't figure out what I should talk about. Anything else, guys? I'll edit this video if I do have something to talk about later. But if not, I'll just post this video if I can't think of anything soon. And you guys let me know what you think of this video. I mean, for now, it's all I can think about talking about. Maybe I should talk about cancer. Chemotherapy does not work for cancer, guys. There is no such thing as cancer as it is. There is no such thing as cancer. Cancer does not exist. If cancer existed, everyone in the world would have cancer, because everyone is exposed to secondhand smoke. Everyone in the world, consumes things that are set to provoke or speed up cancer. I'm not sure what those things are, but I mean, even if everyone in the world wouldn't have cancer because of, cancer supposedly exists, it's not logical that it exists. I smoke all the time with cigarettes. I don't have cancer. I don't believe I'm gonna get cancer. I'm probably gonna keep smoking my whole life. I'm not sure if I am, just because I'm thinking of keeping my body pure of toxins that, could. I'm not sure if cigarettes have a mind altering effect on the brain to the point you can't enjoy life after you smoke one. I'm not sure about that yet, because I smoked marijuana in the past and it did have an effect on me, a mind altering effect. I mean, right now I have brain fog. Now, I am gonna do something about getting rid of that though. The brain fog, but can't talk about what that is. But yeah, basically, if you ask me in the comments, guys, I will tell you what you can do to get rid of the brain fog that's caused by smoking weed. I will tell you what it is. I just can't mention it on the video because you can get controversial. Don't want to have you take my channel down for mentioning anything that's copyrighted or of a religious matter. Basically. But yeah, basically stay away from weed, guys. It's bad for you. It can cause brain fog. Brain fog is where your mental perception of the world is changed on a physical level. That's what brain fog is, guys. Basically you feel less. You feel like basically when you have brain fog, you physically feel that life isn't as enjoyable as it used to be before you smoke weed. That's basically how it feels. Now you could have brain fog and not know that you have it. I mean, I would think you can if your mother was pregnant with you and she smoked marijuana or other drugs when she had you in the womb. You can have brain fog from that. I'm not sure if there's anything else for me to talk about. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, there was one thing. That's with the whole reincarnation thing. The people who control the world, they switch bodies from time to time as often as they want to, whenever they want to. They've been alive for thousands of years, guys. Probably, I'm not sure how many years they've been alive for, but for sure they've been alive for thousands of years. And I say that because to build these buildings that are built around here would take, I'm not sure how long it will take, but it will take a long time. I'm pretty sure that the people who control the world have been alive for that long, at least that long, and haven't died and haven't Um, um, yeah, well, they haven't died, you know. Now, to talk about aging, aging only affects certain people who, and those people are people who want to be affected by it. If aging only occurs in the people who control the world, but they have bodies that don't age as well. They can switch bodies with bodies that don't age as well. And for these bodies that age, they don't die either. They just stay aged, wrinkly or whatever, you know. But they don't die. And there's also bodies that they use that are robots, not robots like made out of metal and working with software, like programming or anything. Actually, actual body made out of tissue. These bodies are used for, like, anyone would use a body. Basically for labor, and there's no one in the body, guys. There's no spirit in the body, that in the bodies that are used for labor. I mean, depending on where the labor is occurring and who's doing it, or if anyone's doing it at all. They could be just bodies doing it. Doing the labor. These are what are called robots for these people who control the world. That's how they have access to food whenever they want it, without having to labor themselves. Without having to do any labor themselves for it. And this is why I say that's unfair for us to have to comply with what we're asked to comply with just to get food, drinks, TV shows, or anything. That's why I say it's unfair. Because I just don't think it's fair for me to have to work for me to have anything that I want. I should just have to contribute to society in some way, even if it's small or big. But at least contribute to society enough to earn what I have. But it shouldn't be through everyday labor for hours and days, just working. It's ridiculous. That's how I feel about work, guys. Let me think about what else I could mention about this on the subject. And these bodies that are used for labor, there are bodies that are used as sex robots, and they're actual bodies made out of human tissue. They're actual bodies made out of human tissue, guys. These bodies are used for sex. I know that's a little inappropriate for me to talk about, but I'm just mentioning it for you to be aware of, the whole sex robot thing. It's a scheme. These mechanical, plastic, or artificial sex robots aren't to the level that these human tissue robots are at. They are obsolete compared to these human tissue sex robots that are available to the people who control the world. I call these people the gods. Now, I mean, I call them the gods because they have access to everything I could want access to. They know everything I want to know. They have the life I want to have. That's why I call them the gods. Not that I don't believe. I believe in Jesus. Of course, I believe in Jesus. But I'm saying the gods based on because of what I just said earlier about them. Because they have everything I want to have. And knowledge, physical things. That's why. But then there's also these people who switch bodies with, and with they switch bodies, let's see, with children or adults. That's how basically I'm going to break it down really easy for you to understand. You can see a child that isn't actually a child, guys. They could be an adult. You don't know that. That's basically how that works. I'm not sure if there's anything else I want to talk about. Let me see. I can't think of anything. That's one thing I would want to have is youth, eternal youth, to live forever, look at the way I want to, and from time to time just switch bodies, once in a while, just to live live life the way I wanted to live it, so I can playing a jumper and a party jumper, playing a party jumper, or and enjoy it, not just feel physically bound somehow. All right, I'm ending the video now, guys.